Here's where things start getting interesting. Let's take a look at my different divs for a minute. First of all, I don't really like the boxes around them, but I'll leave them for now because it's convenient to be able to show you where the borders are. But what I really like to do is I have a whole bunch of butterfly photos, not just these ones. It would be wonderful if I could put a different one on each div, right? But currently there's no way to do that because I have only one rule for that hits all the divs at once. It's just div. Ugh. Well, I need something more. It's time to learn about ID. So how do I differentiate this div, caterpillar div, from the egg div? Right now I can't. They're both just div. Time to hang some extra information off of them. ID equals egg. Couple notes about ID. If I have egg, actually we've seen ID before because of the jump links that we learned a couple weeks ago. But if I have one ID of egg in this area, I can't have another ID equals egg on the page. So these IDs have to be unique. Same as your student ID is unique, your number, nobody else has your number. Nobody else has this particular ID named. The names have to be, you have to follow naming conventions, which means no special characters in there, don't put spaces, use letters. You can use a combination of letters and numbers and underscore if you like, but most people leave it at, or hyphens, but try to keep it minimalist. So I'm going to go through and I'm going to ID some of these things. ID equals Chris. ID equals adult. ID equals info. Okay, now I have a way to talk about these individually, right? So it all still works. Nothing has changed just by putting an ID on. If I refresh, nothing changes. But now I have some additional options available to me in styling. So I might say all divs by default have this border. They all say they have this default background image. They have the same amount of padding. But this particular div, let's say I leave egg the same, but I want to talk about caterpillar. Now instead, I could put a div tag, put div here, which says look for a div tag with an ID of caterpillar on it. But because the IDs have to be unique anyway, I know there's only going to ever be one caterpillar ID. It doesn't really give me any more information to put the div before it. So I'm just saying this matches a tag with the ID of caterpillar. Okay. I'm going to override the background image and give it butter. Why is there no butter 2? Weird. Butter 3. Now notice I have not overridden the entire background rule. There's no need because I do like the no repeat. I do like the right center. I'm going to leave that. But I just want to override the image portion. Refresh. Look, now it has its own thing going on. That's awesome. Let me do it a couple more times. What were my other ones? I've got Chris, double click and copy. And maybe I'll do this again here. Same kind of thing. But I think there's a butter 4. Now the different butterflies start popping in. And then I think I had adult. That's looking much better. I still have the default one showing down here at the bottom because I haven't put out the info one. I don't think I have enough butterflies to do a separate one for each one. If I wanted to take the background image off the information one, this is an interesting exercise. So I could say info background image none. Boop, and away it goes. note that I didn't have to override anything except for the background images in all this case and in all these cases. And this is the way you should strive to write your CSS. Put all the common ones that you can think of up in a more general rule, and then use the specific rules to just override the little specific things that you want to change. This is going to make your code a lot easier for you to navigate as your CSS gets more complex. So at this point, I'd like to take the borders off. I'll comment it out. You can see that I had them on there before. You could also totally remove it. So I'd like that to happen. And now I'd like to, maybe I'd like a little bit more space between them, or a line or something. And I'd also like to get these butterflies onto the yellow part. So, yep. Time to take a hold of the width of the page. So in the next video, we'll just beautify a little bit, and then we'll look at the spans a little bit.